White Rocket Entertainment podcast number 980.
Ooh, that's a lot of podcasts.
Live from the Destiny somewhere across the universe and beginning their second season out there, it's the White Rocket Babylon 5 and Sci-Fi Review Podcast. I am your host, Van Allen Plexico, and I am joined as always by my co-host from the very beginning, Andy Fix. How are you doing tonight, Andy?
I'm doing fantastic, Van. I'm excited to be hanging out with you guys again tonight.
As we start season 2. Very cool. And we've placed our communication stones in place. So I'm not sure if we got an alien or what, but we should have Laura Schroeder. Laura, are you there on the communication stones?
You mean I'm not even on the ship yet?
If you weren't there from the beginning, you can't hitch a ride now, lady.
Unless you're the Lucian Alliance.
That's a very good point.
Hey, Telford got a backdoor way into the ship, so.
He did.
That's
yes,
true,
he did.
because he was the Lucian Alliance.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. You have to have a certain quotient of your wardrobe as like black faux leather. So
Does black real leather count?
okay.
We can work with that.
Okay, cool. Well,
Yes, I'm here. I'm good.
good. All right. So glad we've established that. So here's the deal, gang. We're going to talk about the first 2 episodes of season 2. We had a real cliffhanger there that left us for a few weeks while we've been doing other things, gallivanting around the universe. In the time since we last convened, our Space 1999 reviews with Jim Yelton and me have started airing on this fine program. And we're about to start Battlestar Galactica. So that all should be very excited. I should just post the schedule. I have a schedule. I'm just so afraid I'm going to keep changing it that I'm afraid to post it anywhere because then I feel more obligated. But in any case, we are going to look at Stargate Universe 201 and 202. And I can never remember the names of them. I just asked. Instigation and constipation.
Intervention.
And aftermath.
Intervention and extermination. Okay.
Aftermath.
These sound like cards you play in the Babylon 5 card game. I'm playing Intervention. Well, I'm playing Aftermath. Boom. Blanker. So, all right. First thing we always do is check around the horn and see if there's any news or announcements that we need to let the folks know about. I got a big one, JMS related, but I want to give you all a chance first.
I got nothing.
The only thing that I've seen is that the long in production hell sequel to one of my favorite movies of all time, The Last Starfighter, is now being released as a comic book series. So I'm very sad about that.
You're sad?
Well, yeah. Now we don't get the sequel. Now it's just a comic book series.
I misunderstood. I just realized I never turned the audio recorder on. So I'm sitting here distracted by, should we go back and start over again?
I thought it said recording started.
Yes, because that's the video.
Oh.
Sure,
Right.
let's start over.
Well, what I can do, I guess, is just get the audio off of this. So that's what I'm going to do. That way
Why don't we do that? Because some of us might have to drive all the way to Lima and back tomorrow. So
we're not starting over. All right, here we go. So here's the news. Hot off the presses from JMS today as we record this on April 22nd, 2026. JMS says, news, Christopher Franke has just released a ton of Babylon 5 soundtracks onto Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, Pandora, and others.
awesome.
6 large volumes and smaller 6 episodic soundtracks to come, available yea unto this very moment. And he has a list, but it's pretty much everything. Because I just went, as soon as I saw that, I went on Apple Music and I grabbed everything. I already had a lot of it, but now I've got all of it because I had some of the episodic discs and I had some of the big deluxe, like volume 1, volume 2, right? I had volume 1, volume 2. This is everything, pretty much.
That's awesome. Because I have the greatest hits or whatever on CD, but I have no CD player, so it's just but I never got rid of that CD. I got rid of all my other CDs, but I have like a handful of CDs, and that's one of them, just in case. But now I can just download it on Apple, so I'm excited.
That's it. It's the to me the best ones. Volume 1 has has a lot of like mashups that he did, almost like the Lord of the Rings symphony, where Howard Shore turned the music from the movies into like a hour-and-a-half symphony or whatever. And then Volume 2, Messages from Earth, has all of the season theme music songs, except season 5 is a different variant on season 5 theme. It's called Voices of Authority, and it has that same build-up. You know that I'm going to sound like an idiot, but it has that same bum 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 bum, which is just awesome. That's my favorite theme of the whole series. But then when it gets to the big bum 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 bum, then it goes into this other tune that is really good, but it's not the one they used on the TV show.
That's fascinating. I'm going to have to download that one as well.
Yeah, it's called Volume 2, Messages from Earth. It's so good. There's several tracks on it that are fantastic. So, but then like I said, all the movie soundtracks, like The River of Souls and Into the Fire. I mean, Third Space, River of Souls, In the Beginning. You know, they're all there too. So.
Very cool.
Christopher Franke. And you know, what I did was I just searched for Christopher Franke, and it's under albums, and it's also under like EPs or whatever, because the episodic ones, not all of them are under albums. They're also under like shorts or whatever, you know, because they're really short. And some of his other albums are on there, and there's some cool stuff. Like there's Christopher Franke live in London, and it's just him playing electronic music for like an hour in front of a live audience. And it's from before Babylon 5, and you can totally, I mean, like, it sounds like JMS said, I want that for my show, you know?
That's cool.
Yeah. So there's the news. Any other news? No.
Well, right. I went to see, have you guys seen Project Hail Mary yet?
Oh, yeah.
I have not.
It's fantastic. The company that produced that movie, Lord Miller or something like that, got the rights to We Are Legion, which is a book series, very similar in tone to Andy Weir's writing. So
We Are Bob.
Yeah, We Are Bob. Yeah, We Are Legion, We Are Bob. And there's like 5 books currently in the series, and they just got the rights to that. They're thinking of doing a TV series, a streaming series.
Wasn't that like a self-published thing originally?
It was originally, yes. And then it got very popular, and then he got a publishing deal. And then the guy that did the audiobooks, it became very popular through Audible. The guys that did the audiobooks, yes.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There's a book up on that shelf that had a self-publishing deal.
Oh, yeah.
It is now maybe with Bayan.
Yep, that's very cool.
And then next stop, Hollywood.
Yep, there you go. And you'll remember us when you're big and famous, right?
Oh, geez. Who are you again? I'm sorry. I don't.
So I'm excited about that because I read all the We Are Bob books, and it's fantastic science fiction.
They're good. So you're saying they're good?
Dude, you would thoroughly enjoy them.
Okay. I haven't read them.
Yes.
I'll check them out. All right. I'm just listening to the Parker series for like the 17th time now. I just started The Hunter over again.
Cool.
It's just what I do.
I just got done listening to a series that we'll talk about this offline, because this is not science fiction related, but you would just spoon it up like oatmeal. You would love this series. So
what I do.
All right.
So we do not have ads on this fine program. We do not. We are ad free. To keep us ad free, go to www.b5review.com or just go to patreon.com and look for White Rocket Reviews and join the family, become a patron, help us keep going. We would really appreciate it. Let's get into 201 intervention before Laura has an intervention on us for taking too long. Let me throw out some of the boilerplate and then we'll talk about it. All right. So intervention originally aired September 28, 2010. So we were about 4 weeks into the greatest Auburn football season in history, which is other book behind me back there is about. So that book is about the same time period where this is airing. It's crazy.
And for a season like that, Ohio State would be like, oh, that was just Tuesday.
I know. I get that kind of stuff from Alabama people. I'm like, congratulations. Meanwhile, us, okay? 3.5 months after season 1 ended. So you only had to wait 3.5 months, which is that's longer than we've waited to come back and do this. I would point out for those that feel like we've taken too long. 201 was written by our buddy Joseph Malazzi and Paul Mully. I continue to correspond with Joseph Malazzi on Twitter occasionally. Directed by Andy Makita. All right, so I'm going to do the description for this one, I guess. Colonel Young and the crew continue to clash with the Lucian Alliance soldiers over control of the Destiny, while the unconscious Lieutenant Johansson, experiences a vision about her unborn child. Most of the crew is dumped on a passing planet. Telford continues to pretend to be on the Lucian Alliance's side, attempting to help Young and the crew. Eventually, after Kiva dies of her wounds and one of the Lucian Alliance members kills her insane replacement, Danik, Rush, Eli, Brody, and Chloe are able to force the rest to surrender, retaking the ship. And I just want to say that in terms of Commander Kiva, I have the following message. Oh, and it's gone. Oh, yeah, I like to dedicate the following message to Commander Kiva.
Well, bye.
Because I never liked her, and now she's gone. Hallelujah.
I love that. I love that movie.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Why, Commander Kiva, you look like somebody will walk over your grave. All right. So, in addition to the main characters, the guest stars this time, we have Mike Dopood as Vero, Ian Butcher. What a great name for Danik. That's the guy that takes charge. That's a big jerk. And Julie McNiven as Jen, whatever her name is.
She was the redhead there with the gun.
Oh, I know who she was. I just don't know how to pronounce her name. And then there were a few of the, like Allison Down was Dr. Brightman. Ty Runyon is Dr. Crane. Just a few other. Robert Nepper as Simeon. We're going to see more about him coming up. All right. So that's introducing 201. Laura, any factoids, notes, anything up front you want to throw out about 201 before we dig into it?
I looked and I couldn't find anything. I mean, I went to all my usual places, and like IMDb trivia is non-existent. I don't think there was anything written for this season. So I don't have anything except for my own personal opinions.
I got nothing. I went up all the same trees that Laura did, and I couldn't shake anything out either.
Well, I think I ended up kind of combining my notes and factoids with my overall discussion. So let's just get into it and do our opinions and stuff mixed in. So I wanted to point out, since we were just talking about music, I thought this episode had some really good incidental music. I don't normally notice the music on this show at all. It's very much in the background, just kind of booming and clunking and very mechanical sounding, a lot of stuff like that. But this one actually had some fairly interesting that caught my attention. So if it caught my attention, it either very bad or very good. I think it was very good. And I also going to point out this series continues to be so good at making you feel like the main characters are in an absolutely hopeless situation. But unfortunately, a lot of the time, their resolution is kind of anticlimactic.
I've got opinions on that.
We'll talk about that. And I was gonna, I'll put it this way because I had this written down. When they send the good guys to the deserted planet early on in this episode, I was like, if it was me there, I'd be like, oh, don't worry. We know they'll be back soon. Because whenever anybody from this show gets hopelessly stranded on a planet, they always come back.
Except for one guy.
Well, the next episode.
Right.
Well, maybe the godlike beings on the fake planet will come and swoop him up too. We don't know. I don't know. One other opinion, and I'm going to see if you guys. I thought the whole sanctuary planet thing, I didn't mind it as a one-off last season. I was like, not my favorite episode, but if it's just a one-shot thing where they have this weird, to me, that was like a Space 1999 episode. It felt very Space 1990, where you go to a weird planet and there's some weird, the mysterious unknown force, and everything. But if it's now it's popped back up again in season 2, and I'm like, okay, I don't know if I need the godlike beings that may or may not be a hallucination popping up this often.
You're talking about TJ, right?
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to sort of disagree with you on that.
Okay.
Because it wasn't real. That was TJ's mind.
You think?
Possibly.
I thought it the first time I watched it, and I definitely think I believe it now. I questioned it because when the guy that I don't remember his name, but he's like your baby can stay, but you can't.
Kane, yeah.
Yes, but you can't stay. You have to go back. That right there, it's like, no, this isn't real. This is TJ's brain dealing with the fact that she knows she's lost her baby. And so that in this whole situation that they're in, that is the one place she wanted to be. She wanted to stay there. And so it would make sense that for that self-protection, her mind would create this scenario where that's where her baby is, because that's where she thought they'd be safe.
See, now I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, because I was going to say, because when she wakes up, she asks Camille, how long was I gone? And Camille's like, you've been here the whole time.
So I'm going to disagree with both of you. Van, I think that these mysterious unknown force is very much tied into the destiny of the destiny. I think there's some connection there, and I think they're pointing to something bigger. I don't know if it gets addressed later in the season or not, but I'm sure that there is a long-term arc that's very important to the crew of the Destiny that we probably will never see played out. And Laura, I'm going to disagree with you because they leave it ambiguous, open to interpretation. The only thing that made me think, wait a minute, was when she woke up from her coma.
The Aurora.
The Aurora, the nebula, whatever that was. Yes. She saw that, and she did not see that before she went into her coma and saw it there. So I don't know. That's why I'm thinking there might be something more going on, and I think that they had plans for more to do with that in later seasons.
The reason that I think it was real-ish, okay, is that I do think it happened in her mind, but I think there was more to it than just her hallucinating. And the main reason I think so is because I don't know that you make such a big plot of an episode of a show like this about just a dream. I feel like for it to be that big of a deal, it needs to have more substance to it behind it. You know what I mean? There needs to be something there for them to spend that much of the airtime on it. That's all I'm.
Agreed.
I do agree that she was there the whole time,
Mhm.
and I lost my train of thought.
Sorry, my no. I completely understand where you're coming from. I just think it wasn't. I disagree that they wouldn't have spent as much time because TJ is, a very major character in this whole arc, and this was a way to, I think, deal with the grief and processing what happened without dwelling on it for the rest of the season.
That could be.
And this could be, and I mean, I don't want to like come down to segregating between the sexes, but I've never had children. The only one of the three of us that has never had a child, but I would think, coping with that type of grief, who knows how, everybody's going to respond differently, and it's a very traumatic thing. And so
it's true.
She had to find a way, or her subconscious had to find a way to put this away and compartmentalize so she could keep on doing what she had to do.
That's entirely possible, for sure.
So,
all right. I've got lots of little bullet thingies here, but if you guys have any other things you want to throw out for our general discussion, I'll certainly entertain them.
Nope. I have a couple of unanswered questions, but that's the next category.
You too.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just going to go rapid fire. I really like how they just got Colonel Young and some other characters off the ship for a while so they could focus on doing something else. That was like a nice little mechanism. We're just going to put you on this planet for a minute, Colonel. We'll come back to you when we're ready to do something with you again. That was pretty funny. I thought it was a very strong ending to the main action part of the Lucian Alliance saga. Mm-hmm. It's gone on for several episodes now. Clearly, it's going to continue to be part of season 2. But I thought they kind of wrapped this part up really well. It's not clear how many Lucian Alliance survivors there are because I think they actually put some of them off on that planet, which we could argue about how hypocritical or not you found Colonel Young to be for, objecting to them being put there and then putting other people there. But I believe they kept 9 people ultimately on the ship. 9 of the Lucian Alliance members end up when it's all said and done. I think that's about 9. Mumford & Sons music keeps, I don't know if it was the same group every time, but this show does love them some like folk music in the late stages of the episode. They like to go to credits with the and the Lord, yeah, I'm just like, oh my gosh, please, Lord, that's so bad.
Man, I thought of you when I heard that song playing. I was like, oh, Van's gonna love this one.
Honest to goodness. Rush doesn't have the ability to stop the countdown clock unless the threat of the pulsar was there. I thought that was interesting. Mm-hmm. Producer Brad Wright said Colonel Young is going to go through the ringer in the first half of season 2 and hopefully will emerge stronger as a result. So we got that to look forward to. Malazzi said the plan going into this 2-parter incursion, I guess ultimately 3-parter, was to set up a difficult situation that would not be so easily resolved. No matter how things resolve themselves, we wanted to have consequences that would shake up the shipboard dynamics and have some members of the Lucian Alliance remain on the ship once the dust settled. And they certainly did that. What remains to be seen is what will become of the ones on the ship. Will they go the Star Trek Voyager route and be wearing Icarus base patches on their black leather next week, or not? I had a couple of questions for you here. A couple of quotes. Eli says, splitting up never works. Everyone knows this, which is a good one. And just another day in outer space, which is another good Eli quote. And I did like Rush saying, Danik, this is Rush. I'm sorry to say your men were unable to carry out their orders. That was
cool.
Nice line from Dr. Rush. All right. Those are all my little quick bullet points. I'm going to skim down to unanswered questions. So you guys, Laura, what have you said you had some? What are yours? Y'all probably cover all mine.
Mine was my biggest question. What was, how did Chloe's leg heal?
Yes. Good one. Ding, 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 ding.
So does it harken back to her being in that alien tank?
Well, I noticed they in the recap from
Mm-hmm.
prior episodes, they very specifically mentioned that.
Showed that.
Yeah.
That's why you never watch the recap. Always got future spoilers. It's the recap.
The thing of
always
it
have
is,
the future spoilers.
The way that they did it, it was rather jarring and abrupt, because when the last episode ended, Chloe's on the floor, don't leave me, and Eli's like, no, I gotta go, and I'll be right back. And then all of a sudden she's walking in and he's like, wait a minute, but you're bleeding. She's like, well, no, it stopped. And so I came back. Yeah, I don't just like, okay, that was a little jarring.
Agreed.
And then you didn't get any, I mean, they didn't answer it, but they did show later her looking at the wound and it's like almost completely healed. So that's what I'm like, oh, was it the alien tank?
They set up a lot of stuff last episode that in this episode was handled very jarringly. Yeah, like for half of last season, TJ was pregnant. How is that going? How are they going to raise the kid there? Are they going to put him on the planet? All this, and suddenly the baby's gone. And then what's her name? TJ or Chloe had spent the whole last 2 episodes bleeding all over the place, where Eli was carrying her and he thought she was going to die, and then all of a sudden she goes, "Oh, I got better now."
Yeah.
And then what was the other one? Oh, the way that they just handled, the bad guys. They just all of a sudden, boom, they shot a couple shots, and it's like, why didn't you? Greer and Scott went in there and just started shooting people and rescuing people. It's like, why don't you just keep sending them in there in every other room to take care of the 3 or 4 guys that are sitting in that room? And then, but it just seemed very, very quickly resolved.
Most things on this show do tend to do that. They take a long time to set something up, and then they kind of knock it out pretty quick. We're going to see that again in 202 when we talk about that in a couple of minutes.
Right.
Okay, a couple other let's see. Did you guys have some more? I forgot.
That was
oh dear.
Whoa.
Sorry. That was my big one, was Chloe's healing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I have a few. The Lucian Alliance still seems to think that Colonel Telford is on their side. How long is that going to go on? Does he really believe it? Now, remember the one guy, was it Simeon, was like, seems suspicious. Well, why did you say this? Well, why did you do that? Well, why did you do that?
Right.
And Telford kind of handled it okay. But I like the idea that for now, at least, there's like a double agent inside because it's usually the other way around. So it's kind of neat to be spying on the bad guys instead of the bad guys spying on you. So
unless he's a triple agent.
Oh Lord. Well, with him, that's
right.
Entirely possible. I would not put it past old Telford. Okay, so we talked to was TJ's experience real or a dream? We talked about that one. What's the deal with that planet? Should we even care if it's real? Was she actually in contact with it? Don't know. We talked about the Aurora. I had that on here. Let's see. Danik says, listen to me. You know why we came here. You know what this ship means. To which I'm like, no, we don't. And he says, are you really prepared to let it go just when it's in our grasp? What? And I put in all capital letters here. What does that mean? Question mark. How do they know and our crew doesn't know? How do the Lucian Alliance know what the destiny
That's
is?
all addressed in the next episode.
Well, before that, I was going to say that they know because that's what started this whole thing. The Lucian Alliance attacked the Icarus base, and because they wanted Destiny, and all these people escaped on Destiny, trying to just get away from this planet that's falling apart. So they have no idea what it is, and we hadn't seen anything with the Lucian Alliance until the end of last season. So we don't know. They know, but we don't know.
Well, Jin, in the next episode, Jin tells Rey the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah, but we didn't know that at this point.
True.
And then lastly, I had just what will become the Lucian Alliance prisoners. How much can Young and company really trust them? Can they be kept indefinitely in a prison cell? But I wanted to say, there was something there you touched on, and it I'm having a really bad brain night apparently. But so clearly the ship has some meaning that the Lucian Alliance knows about, and we're going to have to find out. And it ties into what happens with the control room probably in the next. Oh, and the other thing I was going to mention is it's interesting that TJ is seeing people in this episode, and Rush is seeing people in the next episode. Everybody's losing their freaking minds at the beginning of season 2. And we don't know how much of it is real or unreal. They leave it all kind of hanging there. There's something else there, and dang it, and I can't put my finger on it, but it'll probably come back to me later. All right, so let's get on into our various little categories for 201, and I'm going to assume everybody's enjoying this direction of the series. Laura, who is your most interesting or intriguing character in 201?
Yeah, no, I did not fill that one in. I didn't have a specific most interesting character in this one.
Andy, what'd you think?
I have Varro,
okay,
the second in command, because he's like has a conscience, and he's like rooting for or trying to help the crew of the Destiny, and he's not going along with Danik and all that stuff. So I think he there's a little bit deeper character to him than the mustache twirling, others. There's a couple of them that aren't quite as evil as Danik and what's her name was.
All right, here's what I put, and it's going to address what you said. I said Gin, or however you pronounce it. I'm just going to say Gin. I don't care. Like GIF and GIF. Gin, question mark. Danik, question mark. I thought he was interesting. He was kind of a crazy villain, but he was interesting. I liked him better than Kiva anyway, because she should have been on like the episode of The Traitors. She was just flamboyant is what she was, and I just did not need that. But here's what I wrote verbatim, Andy. I said, I know we're supposed to love Varro. And in fact, the first 3 or 4 times I watched this series, I did. And even though he has a Warhammer 40,000 name, which should make me like him even more, I'm pretty sure there's a Varro in one of Dan Abnett's 30K books. I still don't like him because they're manipulating us so hard to like him that it's rubbing me the wrong way. They want us to sympathize with him and be like, come on, Colonel Young, he's a good guy. Let him in with the cool kids. Come on. And he really likes TJ and he's being sweet. No, this time around, seeing him shoot the guy in the chest, one of our guys in the chest, and drop him over and everything. I mean, and we supposed to just look the other way that he killed a whole bunch of members of the crew and now he feels bad about it? No, lock his ass up or put him on some planet. I don't have any sympathy for him at all. So I don't like Varro. In fact, I really dislike him now.
Wow.
Yep. That's that planet with the little worms that come through you.
That's a hot take right there.
Flaming hot take. All right. Let's see. Andy, what character do you wish they'd shoved out of the airlock this episode?
Danik. Danik was just over the top bad guy. I was sick of him. The second he opened his mouth, I'm like, oh, come on. That's so cliche. Just get rid of him.
I feel like they probably did ultimately shove him out the airlock.
They did.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Laura, who do you want to shove out the airlock?
Same. That was my same answer.
I, of course, put Varro. And I said, of course, they did sort of shove Young out the airlock and then brought him back.
Yeah.
They also had shoved Scott and Greer out the airlock and didn't bring them back. For
literally shoved them out the airlock, right?
Yeah, that was interesting. I enjoyed that. Okay, let's see. What, Laura? What was your favorite moment this time around?
When Jin shot Danik.
Yeah.
In the back.
Yeah.
Pew, pew.
Did you see that coming?
Did I see that coming? First time around, no. No.
Right.
I mean, because this is my second watch of it, so even
You
though
remember? I never remember things like that.
Honestly, no, I didn't remember it. So, but it's like, oh yeah, that happened. But yeah, it's no, because she seemed, and it's so funny because she was not that, or let me rephrase. We did not see her originally in the whole Lucian Alliance group. She was most notably not in that. And so I know, to me, in my mind, they created this character for this season and just retconned her for the other thing. You know, it's like she could have been one of a group, but she seems, very young, and, the way that Danik had threatened her a couple of times and seemed to intimidate her. But then, she turns around and shoots him in the back.
I knew somebody was going to shoot him. I just wasn't sure who. They were setting somebody up for a face turn, to use a wrestling term, because he was just so over the top evil and abusing his own troops. Yeah. Somebody had to do it, so it wasn't a surprise that somebody did it.
Y'all just made me remember what I was going to say earlier. Is that one of the producers said that when one of the writers or whatever said when they told us we needed to bring the Lucian Alliance into this show, he said, but they were so goofy in SG1. He's like, I don't want characters that are goofy like that in this show. This show is supposed to be more serious. That show's a more action adventure. This is a more drama. And he says, they used them anyway. And he says, I really like how they used them. And he says, we rationalize it by saying that the Lucian Alliance has a lot of different factions, and some of the factions are goofy and some of them are serious. I really like that. I thought, okay, that would work. Yeah.
That's funny.
So, so the SG1 team went up against the goofy ones, and poor old Colonel Young got the serious ones.
I hate to tell you this, but the SG1 team was the goofy team of Stargate.
Yeah, that's certainly the impression that I've been given.
Yeah,
I did see it, but I saw it once a long time ago. All right, so I said, have we gotten everybody's favorite moments but mine?
Yes.
Okay. I said there weren't very many funny moments in this episode. This was a very serious episode.
Wait a minute. Did Andy tell us his favorite moment?
Yeah, I agreed with you. It was when Danik was
shot. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry, Van.
I liked when I really liked near the end when Colonel Young returns from his brief exile and congratulates Scott and Greer for saving the day and defeating the Lucian Alliance. And Scott says, well, it was mostly Dr. Rush. The look on Colonel Young's face was priceless. He's like, well, I don't want to congratulate him. Good Lord. So that was so good.
Yeah, that was good.
And it was cool to see Scott and Greer go full action heroes running around rescuing everybody. That was pretty neat. That was pretty neat. All right. Andy, your turn. Who won this episode? I got a roll call here.
I'd say Rush won this one because he came out looking like the superhero.
That's a good one. All right. Laura, who won this episode?
The crew.
The good of the crew.
The crew won because they didn't die.
Yeah.
Or at least not all of them.
Pretty much. Right. You could say that about almost every episode of the series.
yeah, but I mean,
no, but it's fair. It's totally fair. I'm not criticizing you for it. I'm saying, yeah, you could throw that one out. You could make it comma and that every episode. Bless their heart. I said Scott and Greer won the episode. Varro won about as much as he could win at this point. I think we're going to be patient there. We're going to just see what happens. And I can't decide if TJ won or lost, honestly. Kind of depends on how you see our conversation earlier.
I have her as losing.
Okay. Well, again, if her baby is safe and she didn't die, she kind of won, and she got that baby off the ship. Sort of.
But she will. That's something that she'll never know. She'll never know if that baby is alive or not. So she's just telling herself that to keep her own sanity. Oh yeah,
until
it was
Kane
real.
Calls her up again and says, "Hey, TJ, Kane again. We're having fun here. Wish you were here."
But see, Camille, they show Camille saying the baby's gone.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we know the baby on the ship is gone, but the spiritual baby, though, that flew off to the fake Haven Space 1999 planet. That's what I'm talking about.
That's why I said, TJ lost because she lost her baby.
Okay. But she lost it one way or the other, yeah.
But the baby's soul may have gone on to become a Minbari.
Ooh.
There's that.
Ooh. There you go.
In Valen's name.
Everybody else who's not Lucian Alliance won. All right, Andy, who lost?
I put TJ.
Dang, that's harsh.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
harsh.
She lost her baby.
Laura, who lost?
TJ.
Wrong. Next issue. No, I said the losers. Commander Kiva.
Yeah.
Not only did she die, she took a bullet to the liver.
Yeah.
She died gross, not just bad.
Yeah, that would suck.
You know who else
lost? Danik lost.
He did.
He deserved it.
The Lucian Alliance in general lost because they failed to capture Destiny.
True.
So yeah, I did not have TJ on the list because I couldn't really decide where she fit in, but I do have the others. All right. What was the most, I'm going to go to Andy this time. What was the most Stargate moment of this episode, Andrew?
The crew getting banished via Stargate.
Yeah, that's fair.
That was just so perfect that's how they did it. They walked the plank.
Jeez, yeah. Oh, I got something to say in a bit. Laura, what was your most Stargate moment?
But taking back the ship.
Yeah, they do that a lot, don't they?
Yes, they do.
From each other, from the Lucian Alliance, from aliens, whatever. Yeah. I said it's a very Stargate thing to present what seems like an insoluble problem in a cliffhanger and then suddenly shockingly easily solve it in the first 10 minutes of the next episode, only to have other problems crop up in their place. That's a verbatim reading of my comments. Yeah, it's like we've seen this over and over, right? That something really bad will happen. You're like, there's no way they can get out of that. And they're like, boom, we're out of it. Oh, no, here comes some other horrible thing. So, again, I love the show, but it does. If you watch it enough times, you start noticing the patterns.
The formula.
Yeah. And there's a formula. There's a pattern. All right. I also had Scott and Greer figuring out how to survive outside and then get inside and go commando was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then Rush bluffing the bad guys was kind of a thing, right? That was kind of a Stargate thing where he's
was he bluffing though?
Well, that's it. Exactly. That's right. So all right, let's see. We have a flex category, and I'm gonna just read them off for the audience real quick. Any of us could do any or all or none of these. They include our famous most interesting use of food, character who seemed to think they were in a different show from everyone else, story or character development that left you scratching your head, and would this episode have been better with Michael Garibaldi, Londo, or Jakar in it? So, Laura, did you have a flex?
I did not have a flex. I think those categories to me are fun categories, and just the tone of this episode with the whole TJ subplot and stuff, I couldn't connect anything. And there was no food.
That's true. There was and that the fact that there's no food becomes a story point in the next episode. All right, Andy, did you have a flex category?
I did. The character who seemed to think they were in a different show from everyone else. I put TJ because she spent half the episode in a Lifetime Network movie.
Ding, ding, ding. You got it. You win. Yours is better than mine.
It was just missing the guy, the handsome dude in the flannel shirt selling Christmas trees door to door or something.
Hi,
TJ. He just told her she couldn't stay.
Right, yeah.
It's too bad you can't stay, TJ. Mine, Andy's is better, but mine is Varro didn't seem to think he was in a different show. He just seems to think he's on the other side of the conflict the entire time. I said he wants to have his Lucian Alliance cake and eat it too, with it being TJ, and then later the favor of Colonel Young. No innuendo implied there.
It's a family show, man.
I know. He's like, well, Colonel, I know I shot and killed a bunch of your men and exiled you to a dead planet, but I did stand up for you against that raging lunatic. So doesn't that make us square? Good. All right, put me on your crew. All right. Let's get the rating. Laura, 0 to 5. How did you rate this episode?
I rated this one a solid 3.5 because even though some of these episodes that are like continuations of a continuation of a continuation, it's like there's this overarching plot line, but each individual episode doesn't really have a lot of solidity to what's going on. So I think it was a solid episode. I think it moved things forward, but in of itself, it wasn't like you couldn't necessarily take that as a standalone episode and go, oh my God, that was fabulous.
It's true. This is true. All right, Andy, what did you rate this one?
I wanted to give this one a 3.5, but it just seemed too tidy and too easily resolved. You know, there was too many issues that were just really quick, like we discussed. So I dropped it down to a 3, which is still not a bad, unless it's, war, what is it? War Without End or something like that.
That's never going to die.
Yeah.
I rated this one a 4.0. I quite enjoyed it. Lots of cool stuff going on. Cool. And the Gate World rating for this one was 3 stars out of 5, I guess.
Hey, cool.
And the IMDb rating for this one was 7.6 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
All right. Before we get into episode 202, which I think we're going to zip through probably a lot faster than that one because it was not quite as intense, in different ways. Right. Yeah, other stuff going on. We're going to zip through 202 here in just a second, but I got to scroll all the way back up the top. There we go. But first, I have to quickly thank our patrons who keep all of our shows going on this channel here. From Battlestar Galactica coming up soon, Space 1999, Stargate Universe, and of course the Great Babylon 5. They include Leah G, Emmanuel Seaman, Rich Hammett, Stu Parker, Shakna Atumbe, Dragon Condolin, The Geek Boy, The Bookish Hedgehog, Una Vez, and Una Luna Azul. Pete Wildstar, Fire the Wave, Motion Gun, Furman. I'm having a hard time braining and speaking tonight. Of course, it doesn't help that they make these complex names that are very hard to get through. Middle-aged Tim. He's just middle-aged right now. He's not geeking. Grumpy old SGU fan. Dragon Con Todd of the Discerning Geeks Portal podcast. Fit to be Mootide. DRKX. Steve the Green Hand. A charred Pakmara morsel with Boba Fett's head. Just like me back there. Heather and Yancey Steingraber, Count Baltar, Mond 06, Drazi Purple in Purple. We are stunning. Lou Welch's Revenge, Jay, Captain Quinn of the EAS Achilles, and Justine Jones. Thank you all so much. Go to www.b5review.com or just go to Patreon and look for White Rocket Reviews. Now, 202 is Aftermath. Originally aired October 5th, 2010, written by Robert C. Cooper, who wrote a lot of Stargate stuff, just like Malasi and the others did. Directed by William Waring, who directed a lot of season 1. The story is that Rush finds Destiny's bridge finally, but keeps it a secret. With the ship low on food and extra mouths to feed, thanks to Lucian Alliance, Rush uses bridge commands to drop out of FTL and send a shuttle to investigate a dangerous planet Destiny wanted to ignore. While Young and Ray argue over the future of the Alliance captives, the shuttle crashes on the planet while Destiny prepares to jump to FTL. The team finds and reactivates the Stargate. All but a small number of Alliance members are abandoned on the planet, but Hunter Riley, who is mortally wounded in the crash, dies after asking Young to end his suffering. And the only real guest stars that we get this time different from previous are Louise Lombard as Gloria. I guess that's Dr. Rush's phantom wife.
Yeah. Yep.
And Mark Burgess as Dr. Franklin, the other Dr. Franklin, Andy. Mm-hmm. This is not the one that tries to seduce all of his patients. This is the one that got in the chair and turned into a ghost.
Right.
All right. Do we have any notes and factoids for 202? Laura, do you got anything you want to throw out there?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Andy, you got anything to throw out there?
No, sir.
All right, let's roll on into like combining it with the discussion then. I liked Greer saying, "Hey, science guys, something's shaking." I thought that was cool when he said, "Hey, science guys." I got a kick out of that. Rush now has controls over some of the Destiny's key systems. That's an interesting development. He can cause the ship to drop out of FTL and stop when he wants it to. Can't control the countdown clock, though, and can't control the flight path, because if he could, you'd have a civil war over turning around going, well, you know what, though? If they turned around now and hit FTL, it would still take them like 1 million years to get back to Earth, wouldn't it?
I don't know.
I mean, I think flying because the ship's been going for like 1 million years. It's been going out into the universe. It's many, 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 many galaxies away. If they turned around and came back, they wouldn't get back in anybody's lifetime. It's like Voyager.
Right.
Way worse than Voyager. Way worse than Voyager. Their solution has to be a Stargate solution, not a FTL solution.
Correct.
Okay. Rush also seems to have access to some of the ship's database, so maybe he can figure out what the deal is. Gin claims that she only joined the Lucian Alliance because they threatened to kill her family if she didn't. So maybe she's not so bad, even though she did shoot somebody in the back, though he had it coming.
He deserved it. He had it coming.
In a Texas courtroom, in a Texas courtroom, he needed killing. Case dismissed. Let's see. I'm going to keep saying this over and over. Whenever members of the crew are seemingly trapped or left behind on a planet, they will always find a way to come back. Even if it's in a dream, even if it's on an alien ship, whatever the case, they'll find a way back. And then lastly, I liked that Camille got to see firsthand how violent, once again, the Lucian Alliance people are. She tends to forget these things and start getting into advocacy mode. And she's down there like, we should be nice to them. We should let them go. And then they try to kill everybody. And she's like, there was that scene of her just standing there like, oh, no. And I was like, yeah, come on, Camille. Love Camille, but sometimes she lets her emotions get a little ahead of her common sense there. Let's see, a couple other things. An ancient legend, this is maybe what y'all are talking about. An ancient legend told among the Lucian Alliance said that the address to destiny led to great understanding, according to Jen. Again, I keep changing it every time I say it. It could make you as powerful as the gods. Control time and space. Okay. So that's why the Lucian Alliance wanted it, obviously. Let's see. The conflict between Earth and the Lucian Alliance at home in the Milky Way galaxy is heating up. They may be planning an attack on Earth. We don't know why or what's going on. There's the whole question that we can discuss about putting the Lucian Alliance survivors on the planet and letting them fend for themselves. Will we ever see them again? Did they all die? Here it is. There are approximately 9 remaining Alliance members, 7 men and 2 women, including Varro, Gin, Simeon, and Kaz. I don't know who Kaz is. Why did they keep Simeon? What did that guy possibly have to offer that made them say, you know, we should keep this guy on the ship?
He's got a cool name.
Yeah. It's a big monkey.
Right.
But he doesn't have a typewriter.
No, that's just me. So I want your guys' opinion on this. What do y'all think about Colonel Young's decision to leave most of the Lucian Alliance on the gravel quarry planet, as I'm gonna call it?
I thought it was the right decision.
I mean, he followed through. I mean, that's one of the things in any show. It's like, and even dealing with life, you can't make a threat and not back it up. And he's like, I'm going to drop you on the first viable planet we come across. And that's what he did.
Yep. It was an unviable position. They couldn't keep him on board because they didn't have enough
they couldn't hold
supplies,
him.
right?
Yeah.
They couldn't keep him prisoner, so it was like, well, we either all die of starvation or they go off and fend for themselves on the planet.
Was it just me, or did the two planets we saw in the last couple episodes look the same?
They did look the same, but they didn't look like Northwest Canada.
No, they're like a marble, like a rock quarry.
Right, which could have been in Northwest Canada.
So the one they went to first that had a working Stargate, it had trees and stuff, didn't it, or did it not? No, because the one that
because they hid out in the cave. That was with all the lightning,
right?
And when James got struck by lightning,
right,
in the cave.
Oh yeah. So even the lightning's attracted to her. So I couldn't remember. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, you're not.
Not at all. So which of those two planets did the Aleutian Alliance people get exiled to? The cave,
the first one. Yeah, planet? The cave and lightning planet they got exiled to.
Not the super rotation crash your shuttle planet.
Correct.
So the dead, what's his name, is not on the same planet with the broken shuttle as the Aleutian Alliance people.
Correct.
They couldn't go over and like hotwire the shuttle and come chasing after the Destiny.
Correct. Not without putting a window in it first.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Okay. I was just want to make sure about all that.
Yeah. Not on the same planet.
And the other thing I had, Destiny's second shuttle has now been lost. Mm-hmm. I thought they lost one before. Mm-hmm. Now they've lost the other one. So
yeah, because the first one they lost was the one that was on the planet that TJ thought she went back to.
Yeah. Did they leave one there?
Well, they had. I mean, it was.
I don't remember.
Yeah, because they had taken him down, and then Young came down in the broken shuttle. Oh, this won't make it back out of the atmosphere, so you can use it for shelter, but that's all you got.
That's right. Yeah, they left one on that planet so they could use it for shelter. You're right.
So both the shuttles are gone now.
Yep, they are shuttleless.
Another one somewhere. Yeah, that sucks. I like those little shuttles. They were cool. All right. Did y'all have anything in the show discussion or whatever like that, or did you?
Only unanswered questions.
All right, let's get on down to there then. All right. So, what are your unanswered questions?
Is Rush legit crazy, or is he talking to actual?
Yeah, that was my number one.
Yeah, and then I have what the heck was the mystery thing at the end?
Yeah, what is it that they're?
They all looked at it, but then we saw the front end of the Destiny. And we didn't see what they were looking at. And what did Rush just now find that bridge in this episode?
Yeah. Well, I think he had been. I think it was implied that he'd been working on it and looking for it or something.
Yeah.
It just seemed all of a sudden like, hey, we got the money for a new bridge set. Let's introduce it into the this episode. And then it was like, hey, here it is. It's like, wait, I mean, because at one point he said, I'm just going to go out for a walk. And then the next scene, he's walking into this bridge. I'm like, well, that was convenient. I mean,
well, that's why he went for a walk so he could go check it out because he finally found it.
That could
be. But he was very deliberate about how he touched the right buttons in the right order and everything.
Right.
I think, and they didn't say this in the show, but from what I have read, I think what we're supposed to gather is he started some kind of computer program running last season that was looking all through the ship's databases to find information on it. And apparently it just told him that right there. What it did was here's why I thought it was confusing. Because part of the time when he was going in there, because he had to go through like 2 doors and do the little code and all, part of the time it looked like he knew exactly what he was doing and was not surprised. And part of the time he acted like he was doing it for the first time.
Right.
You got both of those impressions at the same time, so it was hard to be sure which it was, which one was it,
And the bridge was in the very bridge-like structure at the very top of the ship with windows in it. Didn't they see that from the outside and say, hey, why don't we go check out that part of the ship?
From the inside, right. I know. Yeah, so that's big, because a big part of this show is that they can't control anything. So if they start to get a little control, of course, now who's going to control it? And I think the big reason why Rush doesn't want to tell anybody is he doesn't want Young to tell him what to do with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what room have they been in running things or trying to run things? Just like an auxiliary control room?
They had tapped into the control somehow through those little data entry centers in various places around the ship.
Okay. I had is Laura a second. Is Rush right when he asserts that Colonel Young is not capable of leading their team, or is he just mad because Young doesn't go along with everything he demands and expects? What do y'all think?
Yes and yes.
Yeah, I think he was also trying to rationalize his actions.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I thought so too. What is the large object they're hurtling toward at the end? And Andy, you said we just see the Destiny, but did we?
It was dark.
You're not. See, now I'm gonna have to go watch the next episode.
I'm not saying nothing. I think we're scheduled to do the next episode sometime in 2029, so you might want to hold off.
No, I'm gonna watch it tomorrow now.
I love it. I know I couldn't. I'd had to go through the whole series by now and be back. I'd be back around with us at this point, having already watched it all. Bless your heart. Now we'll do a little more alacrity here and shuffle things around so we can get through season 2, because I want to get through it too. I'm enjoying it. And then again, how are they going to get by without shuttles? Because that was really like a big part of their of what they would do is send. Why can't I ever think of his name after I just said it?
Scott.
I just cannot say Scott.
Well, in the next episode, they discover the transporter room.
Of course. That would be so classic. That would be awesome. All right. Any other unanswered questions from you guys?
Nope, that's all I had.
All right. Laura, what was the most interesting or intriguing character in this episode?
This one for me is Rush, because he obviously has a major internal conflict going on. We've always wondered when he does something that seems to be good or altruistic, we know, okay, it's really not, because he's got ulterior motives. But it seemed like in this, and you asked if he was, really talking to people. Well, I mean, his brain manifested his dead wife and Dr. Franklin, who we have no idea what happened. So, and he actually acknowledges that this is his mind creating this. And I've seen this in other shows with other characters. It's like it's almost like it's their subconscious manifesting as something they know and they're talking to. Have either one of you seen the show Dexter?
I have not.
Okay. The only reason I referenced it is because the main character in the original series basically talks to his dead father, and it's his conscience. It's like they have conversations. His father's like, well, I'm your conscience, da da da. But he knows it's not real, but it's a way to rationalize and think through things. And that's what Rush is doing. But he manifests different people depending on what it is. And that's why we've seen both his wife and Dr. Franklin.
I have seen Fight Club, though. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But that's why Rush seems very, very conflicted because of, is this the right thing to do? Should I keep it a secret? And then when he makes his big mistake and he knows he made that mistake and he knows the consequences are all his fault. And I think he feels really bad and he doesn't know how to deal with that.
Yeah. Andy, what was your most interesting or intriguing character?
I also had Rush because watching somebody's journey into madness is always going to be interesting.
Yeah. Well, but again, they leave us that little kernel of doubt that Franklin does manifest like a ghost and he was sucked up into the chair.
Right.
But I guess there's no rule that they couldn't both be. They had to both be the same thing.
Right.
True.
I don't know. And I also said Riley. Learn more about him, or at least got to see him a little bit.
Finally got a little bit of a personality, and they kill him all for it.
Yeah. All right, Andy, who you want to shove out the airlock this time?
Rush. Rush was just such a jerk. Oh my God, I wanted to punch him in the face every time he got all smarmy, and then he started rationalizing all of his mistakes. And I'm like, dude, just shove yourself out an airlock. Come on.
I guess I should change this to who do you want to shove through the Stargate to the gravel planet?
There you go.
Hang out with the Lucian Alliance. Laura, who did you want to shove through the Stargate to the gravel planet?
Also Rush. Andy, I don't know. It seems like you and I are always on the same page with a lot of these things. But it's like, dude, you're your own worst enemy, and you screwed up big time with this one. I mean, in the past, it's just been, cockiness and arrogance and, getting into fights with Young. This time someone died because of his arrogance and his words.
Hubris.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Sure. I said I have a feeling we're going to wish they shoved all the Lucian Alliance people out the airlock at some point, although they did shove quite a few of them out the Stargate. Let's see. Laura, favorite moment this time around?
So because of the somberness and the death of Riley in this, I didn't have a favorite moment, but I have a bone to pick with Young. Because what the HE double hockey sticks, family friendly. You find out your baby is dead and you have no emotion.
Yeah.
That was his child too. And he's just like, oh, you okay? Can you do this? Dude.
That's young.
I'm like, you can see TJ is barely holding it together. And you got nothing? That really, I didn't catch that the first time. This time, I really wanted to throw something at the TV.
Yeah, that I know. I was sort of kind of stunned by it and didn't even register completely. But now that you pointed out, yeah, not great.
I want to say that the tears at the end, I think, were a combination of everything in this episode. Yeah.
No, I agree with you, Andy, because I kind of blocked that out for a moment. But yeah, he was obviously. I think I initially connected it to Riley and what he had to do, what he was asked to do.
Yeah, I did too.
But,
you're right.
But yet, I do think it was all of that, and it was finally, probably, now that I've just blasted him, going back and saying, okay, when he finds out that his baby is gone and dead, he was still in crisis mode.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so he didn't probably have time to actually process it until that it was all done, and it all just came flooding back in that scene. I still ticked at him for being unemotional, but yeah.
I enjoyed the shuttle crash. Sorry. I just really liked the effects there. I kept thinking, Andy, and you'll appreciate this. Imagine that whole shuttle crashing on the planet on Babylon 5 with that 1994 CGI. It would have been so bad.
That would have been really bad.
It would have been so bad. I kept thinking, man, the effects on this show are just so much beyond what we had to deal with to a certain degree, man, on that show. But no, I just thought that looked really good, including sliding right up to the cliff and then the rocks and everything. So, yeah, watching the tail hit Laura in the head, that's kind of funny.
That's my favorite part of this particular episode is watching the cat just smack the crap out of Laura's face with his tail.
Do you want to say hi, Bella? Say hi.
Hi, Bella.
Hi.
Oh, she's so cute. Oh, wow. She chose violence.
Time to put her out the airlock to the gravel planet.
Right?
It's funny she did that. There's not a mark on my hand.
Yeah. She usually let you know that she could have done it.
I think I startled her. And even I've had her for 2 years, and certain moves, or if I go in at the wrong direction or something, she'll react. But yeah, there's not even an indent. So she was just like, hey, that was wrong. And I'm like, okay, I stand corrected. Because as soon as, what you probably missed, as soon as she was done, then it was like, oh, here, pet my head.
Yeah. So my favorite part of the episode, since Van skipped over me, was when Riley stood up for the prisoners in the mess hall. When everybody was saying, oh, they're getting our food and we're going to starve and all this stuff. And Riley's like, no, wait a minute. We got to treat them like human beings because they deserve to live.
Yes.
I thought that was cool. And then they killed him.
And wasn't there...
He's got that, because there's a quote, and he talks about, I don't remember the quote, but something about how you judge a civilization is how they treat their prisoners or something like that.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Wasn't there a scene later where, this is one I was going to mention, where the prisoners, the Lucian Alliance people are like, well, y'all are out there eating, we're just going to starve. And I think it was Camille that's like, no, we're starving too.
Yeah, that was actually earlier in the episode. Yeah.
I like that a lot. I'm like, they're thinking how they would be.
Right.
We keep the food and let you starve. And she's like, we're not letting you starve. Yeah. We don't have anything either. Right? We're all suffering here together. And
we're not giving you tiny rations. We are sharing our tiny rations with you.
Yeah. And was it Varro? It was like, oh dang, he was like reacting.
I think so.
Like, oh wow, okay, well my bad, Okay, so that I did skip Andy because I was saying my shuttle crash. All right, so Andy, who won the episode?
Not a gosh darned person won this episode.
Nope.
Okay, Laura, who did you think?
I'm right there with Andy. There was no winner this episode.
I said the crew members on the shuttle that were able to use the buried Stargate to get back to the ship, and again, it did seem kind of anticlimactic. But it's funny, it's whenever Eli is trapped somewhere, it's always anticlimactic when he comes back. You know what I mean? Every time Eli is stuck somewhere, when he comes back, you're like, oh, he just walked in. It's all cool. All good. Oh, you got the Stargate to work. Cool. No problems. Right. Okay. Okay. So, Andy, who lost this episode?
Riley.
Yeah. That's who I have. Laura?
I have Riley, and then I did also add Young because, yes, he lost his child, but that scene with Riley, he not only lost a crew member, he had to help him get there.
Oh, he didn't help him. He sent him.
No, what? Okay, Riley begged him.
Right.
I kept seeing Dumbledore, Severus, please. But no, Riley basically begged him to do it. He's like, yeah, and so, I mean, he was his commanding officer, and there was no way to do anything. But I can't imagine. I mean, it's one thing. They talk about, war is hell, and, taking a life, even if it's, in defense of your own, it's bad. I've never had to do that. But to take a life because that was the most humane way to deal with the situation, I can't imagine what that would do to a person.
Yep.
And how much you lose of yourself in doing that.
Oh, I'm sure. My gosh. I'm sorry. That was a very profound point, and yet my brain went to, are they going to run out of bullets for their machine guns soon? But you know what I realized? I bet the Lucian Alliance brought a whole bunch more ammunition with them.
They probably did.
You weather an attack at the beginning of every. We know this is the last season, okay, but let's say they expected this show to go 10 seasons like SG1. The beginning of every season, you weather that Lucian Alliance attack, and then get all the new equipment, all the new supplies.
There you go.
You with me?
Yeah. And they just conveniently use the exact same bullets that your guns use.
You better hope, because otherwise there's going to come an episode where they're like, Colonel, I have to let you know we are officially out of ammunition.
Wow, that would suck.
Yeah, because they have been shooting them off a lot.
And they got a lot. They got a lot of C4 because they blow crap up every third episode.
Yeah. Oh, that Stargate, the whole franchise just loves C4. They love to blow stuff up. But I just keep thinking the stuff that they have with them is going to sooner or later going to run out, surely.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they're going to manufacture new bullets or anything. But anyway. All right. So Laura, what was the most Stargate moment this time?
Greer standing on top of the buried gate.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Well, you can see it from up there. And I'm like, oh, he can see it, all right. And when you get up there, you'll be able to see it too, unfortunately. All right, Andy, what was the most Stargate moment?
Peak Rush. This was Rush at his rushiest. I mean, I just wanted to just beat him about the head and shoulders with my shoes. He was such a jerk, and it was just Rush.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see them in July in Chicago. I'm looking forward.
No, he's shown bits and pieces of this side of him almost every episode, and this time it was just like the whole kit and caboodle.
It was. I said Dr. Rush talking to people that aren't actually there.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a SGU thing. And people seemingly lost for good on a planet and then just casually stroll back through the Stargate like nothing ever happened. That's a very big SGU thing.
Yeah.
Not complaining, just kind of funny. I had one flex category. I'm going to let myself go first for a change. Story or character development left me scratching my head. TJ telling Riley as he's dying, oh, you think you got problems? Let me tell you this. Right, now you're going to go out of this life thinking I'm a lunatic. I'm like, oh, TJ, I know he's the one person that you can tell safely right now. I get that. But that doesn't mean that's what he needs to be talking with you about right now. I feel like he has other things to, I'm half crushed and about to die, but please tell me your troubles with your child, right? That you're still alive and I'm not in 5 minutes. So I had issues with that. Did Laura? Did you have a flex this time?
I didn't.
Okay, Andy, did you have one?
I did. I used the story character development that left me scratching my head. Holy crap! I was shocked when Rush just smothered him when he just killed him. I thought he would maybe leave him as gun or something like that, but when he actually not Rush, Young, yeah, when Young smothered poor Riley. I mean, that was such a violent, horrific way to go. I mean, you could see it in Riley's eyes that it was not an easy way to die, and oh boy, that really shocked me that Young would actually do that.
It looked like a scene from The Sopranos.
It did. It did.
Except more voluntary.
Right. I was a little shocked. I didn't think that Young would have. I like I said, I thought maybe he would have left him his gun and just walked away. We would have heard a gunshot or something like that. I didn't think that he would just murder him.
I have a thought on that because I don't know that Riley. Not everyone necessarily has the countenance to do themselves in. Mm-hmm. And leaving Riley a gun, I don't know that he would have taken the shot. Right. On the flip side, if Young had used the gun, everyone would know that Young is the one that killed him in the end.
Right.
This way, when he came out, all he said is he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I caught that.
Nobody knows that Rush was the one that did it, at Riley's behest. He could have just passed on his own and Young stayed with him. And I think that, like Andy had pointed out, that final scene, that's weighing very heavily on him because he's the one that did it. But yeah, no noise, nobody knows.
All right. So let's see, Laura, what was your rating of this one on a 1 to or 0? I would say 1 to 5, 0 to 5.
So while this wasn't necessarily this episode, to me, it weighed very heavily on me because of all of that. I still rated it a 4 because I think it was, there was a lot of important character stuff that happened.
That's true.
And we are going into an era of television where not everything is going to end on a happy note.
Well, that's this show in a nutshell.
Yeah.
What's your rating, Andy?
I gave it a 3.5. I thought it was well done. I thought there were some really good dramatic moments. A little bit confusing with the whole Rush finding the bridge thing. I thought I missed something in an earlier episode somewhere, but yeah.
I rewound. I actually did rewind.
So I gave it a 3.5. It was a solid episode for sure.
Yeah, 3.5. Exactly what you said for me too. Gate World rating for this one was 2.5.
Oh wow.
People don't like heavy stuff.
But yet the IMDb rating out of 10 for the previous one was 7.6. The IMDb rating for this one was 8.06. So this one actually had a higher IMDb rating than the previous one.
Wow.
Which surprised me because the previous one was like the big finale of the, dealing with the incursion. So
right.
All right. I think we've covered everything. Any final thoughts, you guys?
I got nothing. I thought they were 2 pretty solid episodes. It was, they kind of wrapped things up quickly, but I thought it was a satisfying ending to the Lucian incursion.
Mm-hmm. Laura, any final thoughts?
I've been thinking about this since watching it, and part of it is like, I know a lot of series will randomly kill off a character, not necessarily a full main character, but like a secondary main character. Just so many shows now where it's like, don't trust anything, anybody can die, and it's just like, was it necessary for Riley to die? I didn't delve into the reasons why the actor left the show, so I don't know if this was a planned write-off or he was moving on to something else. But I'm just like, was this really necessary?
Well, they've been taking out cast members pretty regularly so that this show does have a kind of a death march flavor to it a little bit. It is a pretty grim show. You don't necessarily last very long on here.
No, that's
So,
true.
all right, gang. Well, we will reconvene soon. And I think I had originally planned that we would do like a kind of an introductory Battlestar Galactica, but I think we should just go straight into and have one episode on the big premiere episode. What do y'all think? That sound all right? Let's just
That sounds good.
Because that's like is that 2 or 3 hours?
It was 3 hours with commercials, but without commercials, it's closer to 2. But it's Saga of a Star World is what it was called, which is crazy. But it's the first episode. So we will get to Battlestar Galactica next. I'm really excited. And we'll also come back, of course, and do 203 and 204 of Stargate Universe very soon before everybody loses interest and forgets in it again. Because we had a nice little break there where we had a couple other shows had a debut and everything. But all right, we're going to get on out of here for this episode, and we will see you guys down the road. Good night, guys.
All right, see you guys.